I know you're from Oak Cliff, in Dallas. Like, it's like one of those areas that has like, such historical significance. I think about like Lee Harvey Oswald. Like, I guess he used to be a resident of Oak Cliff, and he actually was arrested. At the Texas Theater, which is also in Oak Cliff. Like, did you grow up like hearing stories about like Lee Harvey Oswald?
No, actually, I didn't. I didn't. But I grew up not far from the Texas Theater.
Wow, yeah. What was it like growing up in Oak Cliff?
It was cool. It was back in those days. Oak Cliff would have been the suburbs, I guess. I was born in West Dallas in the projects, so my family moved up to Oak Cliff. But it was a neighborhood like anywhere else. It had its good parts and its bad parts, and its good people and its scandalous people. But it's home. No place like it.
Yeah, I've watched like past interviews, and you talked about like, that like you would read like, to stay out of trouble. What was like some of your favorite books?
Well, I didn't read to necessarily stay out of trouble. I read to fool my parents into thinking I was going to school.
Okay.
Uh, and I didn't have a favorite book. I just read, whatever was handy. Most of the time I was reading either a thesaurus or a dictionary.
Oh wow, like you actually like read the dictionary and the thesaurus, like and how did that develop like, your skills is like, where you wanted to like, start being an MC? How did that come about?
Yeah, all that happened kind of around the same time. So when rap came, when I got into it, I already had like words that most people weren't using in my head just by virtue of reading the book, those books, and so it was a good thing for me.
How did the you get involved with the Fila Fresh crew?
Yeah, all that stuff was going on the same time. We're talking about ninth grade in high school, uh, and Dallas is starting to, hip hop is starting to really get its footing, and the clubs is starting to pop hip hop, and hip hop is starting to get on the radio. There's underground radio stations that play all the hip, that moment in time. And it was really cool down there, bro. And Oak Cliff was the shit.
You started off as Doc T. What made you change from Doc T to the D.O.C.?
So when I was in LA making records with those guys, they I was the new guy from Dallas. And they already had their sort of set crew of people. And so when things started to develop, sometimes I felt like they may have been trying to, sometimes I felt pushed to the side a little bit. And so I put the periods in my name because they had periods in their name. And in my mind, that built an automatic sort of connection that you couldn't separate me from.
Definitely. Um, you talked about that, like, like what why like, weren't you in NWA? Like, I mean, obviously like the group was like started, was there ever the opportunity, like, to be a part of it at that time or
Yeah, they just wanted my help. They didn't want me in the group, and so and I never asked to be in the group, or I never even saw it like that. Because to
right?
me, I was in the group because I was making the music. But when it came time for it to really be a group, nobody thought about me being in the group, you know, and I wasn't tripping on it. I was waiting on my turn, because I knew when my turn came, then I wouldn't be worried about nobody's group. Yeah, but those were good times, man, and I really cherish being able to grow up and learn out there with those dudes, not only business but life and how to make good records.
What was like the biggest difference of like moving to LA from Oak Cliff, Dallas? Because like I was just in Dallas like a couple weeks ago, of course, and like it, even now, like I mean, like I think there's differences, like it is than LA, like
Oh
especially
yeah, oh yeah, them boys out there in LA is raised for war. Like we wasn't raised like that down here. We are warriors down here. Don't get it twisted.
right,
But those boys out there in LA are, for the most part, are raised for war. The gang culture draws them into that very early in life, and so it's just different. But me, I'm just generally kind of try to be a good guy. Period. And that's just me. I'm better doing it like that. I win more doing it like that, and I've always been a help the guy kind of guy. And so, uh, you know, I love those guys, but we are different.
most definitely. So you go like in record, no one can do it better, which is your debut album. Like what was it like, recording that album?
It was fun. It was really fun because I knew it was really good. I knew it. I knew I was like, man, one song after the other, and we only did 13 songs. Like the album that you got is basically every song. So just think, every fucking time we went in there, we came out with something else that was like, wow. And so we knew, you know. Um, and at that time, NWA stuff was really starting to blow up. So we knew it was going to be crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
And even today, like a lot of people and stuff consider that like a classic hip hop album. Some people put you in the GOAT conversation, like top 5. Do you feel like that you feel kind of sometimes cheated because of the car accident?
Nah, bro, I did. I went through that emotion for a long time, but I don't feel cheated now. I feel vindicated now. I feel like I made it to the other side of it. I feel like everything I thought that I lost is on its way,
Right.
and I'm not even gonna have to work for it this time. It's just gonna fall in my lap, and I'm gonna be able to continue to make records. And bro, yeah, it's gonna pop. Like it's really close. And I'm everything I said the same thing I told you about making those records back then. That shit is going on in my life right now. Seems like everything I do, the shit is fucking good and it works. And so that moment that I was in back then, I'm in that same moment today, bro. Just older and wiser, and I know what I'm doing now, so I ain't gotta guess.
Yeah, like I was listening to the song you did with the co-defendants, man, and that sounded good. Like, like what did you like, now like recording with your new voice, and I was like listening to like other interviews where you were talking about like AI or the possibility of like getting vocal surgery. Have you come to like any conclusion of what you were going to do about that?
Yeah, I haven't come to a, you know, I it's something new every day, right? I just got introduced to somebody told me about another doctor today.
Okay.
I mean, day before yesterday, but I'm not gonna spoil the movie. You know, all of the answers to that question is in the film.
Okay.
Um, but the AI part, all of that stuff is here. You know, it's there, and I'm about to be able. I'm gonna, man. I'm the best case study for that thing, and I'm gonna be able to spend some really intimate time with it and make it do what it do. I'm really excited about that. I'm to be able to make a song, to be able to make a song, my older self in conversation with my younger self. I mean, that's just fucking insane.
Yeah, that's really cool. You know, you've done some acting. Like, I wanted to ask you, like, what was it like being on Winning Time?
That shit was fun, bro. And I found out I'm not bad, you know. I can do it. Uh, I need a chance to work at it to be good at it, but I can do it, you know.
Yeah.
And I'd like to do more of it, but one thing at a time, and God willing, it's a God thing. I'm trying to keep my mind focused on this mission to get this school curriculum built and all of these community-based programs I'm trying to put together. That's really important to me. So the film and these initiatives are the first thing on my plate. Of course, with the film comes the music, you know. But once I get those things out, then I can start concentrating on the AI. And I got a lot of shit on my plate, bro. And it's really cool.
Man, I see, like, a lot of interviews and stuff, and you're talking about, like, building in the community, and it brings up the idea. Ice Cube, he was on Bill Maher's like a couple years ago, and it's been circulating online, like this clip where he talks about the same people that own the labels own the private prisons, and, like, it was designed to push people towards prison by, like, gatekeeping, like, which songs like are able to be heard by the public. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, Cube is a very, very intelligent person. He's about as real as they get. And so 99.999% of the time, if he says something and he's gonna stand out there on it like that, then he's giving you the real deal Holyfield. Um, there's a system that exists for everything, including putting niggas in the penitentiary, you know. And he's giving you his opinion on what that system or what a component of that system is. And you have to be a fool not to be able to see the disparity in those places and in the rest of the world, whether it's business or anywhere else where people of color are concerned. But those things are changing. And I'm not really interested in talking about what it used to be. I'm here to talk about what it's going to be. Because this is the new 50, not the old 50. We're on the elevation now. I want to be solution based. How do we not dismantle that machine? Those folks need a machine. How do we build a machine to disrupt the actions of that machine? Let the machine exist, you know, but shortstop it. You know what I'm saying? And see what it do. And so that's where my mind is. That's where all of the programming and these things that they'll all work together so that we can build a machine that counteracts that machine. And you need to fight fire with fire, you know. Great production and great music and great ideas and soldiers and warriors and man, it's a whole deal, you know. But I think we are already in those Like I said, it's a God thing, and we already in that. It's already doing it. It was, everybody, people like Cuba are already after it. People like D.O.C. are already after it at a level where it can, it can do something, and there are people on the ground that don't get attention, that are out there doing the work, bro. And in fact, that's one of the things I want to make sure I do is bring light to those folks, because it's folks out there that's really on the ground putting work in, and I want to make sure that they get a light as well. That's going to be one of my new things. You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
it's all about positivity and uplifting us from inside, not from the inside out, not the outside in.
yeah, like Reverend Peter Johnson, for example, like I think like his story, like that you've highlighted is pretty like incredible. He was only 23 when he came to Dallas, and 1969 he was a member of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference. Can you talk about like a little bit of like how he inspired you?
Yeah, uh, uh, Reverend Peter is probably the most, and I got to call Peter Johnson today, bro. You just made me do it. It's probably the most selfless person I've ever met. As you said, he came here in '69 to help lay the foundation to get King through here, and has been here ever since, helping black and brown folks do better, have more, be better, know more. Nobody give him nothing. They don't. And I wanted to make sure that I could give him some kind of light, because he needs that love and appreciation. And it kind of created a bond between he and I that drives me, to be the man I am today. I'm thankful and grateful for him. I met him in 2019, and some folks had heard that I wanted to do more in the community. They said, you need to meet Peter Johnson. And so I went to meet him at his office, saw all this memorabilia of all the time he spent with Dr. King and his family, and all these great stories he had about all those times in Rosa Parks, and um, matching them with Motown and that whole movement back in those days. Ossie Davis and all of these, it, and he asked me during the conversation uh, to help him figure out a way to get these kids to stop killing each other. And as he was talking, he started to tear up, and this shit touched my heart so much. I just told him, yeah, and that became a thing for me. He asked me to go to the 62nd anniversary of the Little Rock Nine with him, and I went and met those folks and heard them speak and got to know them and was blown away, man. And I just wondered how that strength and that power of those folks in that generation got disconnected from us in this generation. And that became a thing for me. How do I reconnect us back to that passion and that emotion that we had for us back then? And Peter Johnson is a huge reason for that. And so I love him very much, and I'm grateful for him.
Man, what do you think is the solution to the gun violence that plagues like our community? Like I'm from Chicago, where like we have very like high rates of violence with gun violence. Then you also see it in schools. I know you're from Texas, where gun culture is huge. Like what is the solution like to solving the gun problem in America?
Man, look, if the answer was that easy, you know, well, I guess the answer really is that easy from my perspective. It's all a God thing, bro. Everything in this experience we are having is purposeful. Everything happens for a reason. It's the way the story was wrote. And so when God puts us all in the state of mind where we say we're tired, then we're gonna stop, or we're gonna stop it, you know. And when I say we, I mean us in our communities. When we say we're tired of it, it's gonna stop. I think that time is coming close, right? But we're gonna need everybody.
Right.
And you're gonna need everybody without judgment from the top to the bottom to say that's it. And then become accountable by all means necessary, you know, and it is what it is. And I think we can do that. Like I said, there's a lot of folks out there that's on the ground, putting work in, making connections, you know, on the street level and in law enforcement level, because you need them too.
Right.
Yeah, you got to work with those guys. You got to you got to connect with those guys that love the community like you do. You got to connect with the people out in the community that love it like you do. And you guys have to create systems and programs that cut through all that bullshit. And by any means necessary, secure yourselves, begin to learn how to feed yourselves, house yourselves. You know, all of this shit is a grand vision and it all comes in time. But that's the mindset I think we need in order to solve that problem. It's going to have to come from us. It's not going to come from nowhere else.
Man, it's powerful. DOC, like, I've enjoyed talking with you. One last question. What would be your advice to aspiring artists, like, people like, who are young, wanting a career in the entertainment industry?
Ownership is everything. That's what it's all about. That's what they cut, steal, kill, live and die for in this space. That's the one lesson I've learned. Whatever you do, own it because you control it. And that's it. When you own it and you control it, then that's it. Monetize it, go build a system that makes it work. When you own it and control it, you got everything in the palm of your hand. When anyone else owns or controls any part or dynamic of what you're doing, you're compromised. So be careful with the alliances that you make, and as much as you can, be a controlling interest in the business, and you should be all right.
Definitely, man. DOC, thank you so much for taking the time. I really appreciate it. I'd love to have it back sometime, and I appreciate you.
I love. Thank you.
Definitely.
Peace.